Badge number 89, Officer Kafel, Shrewsbury Police Department. You understand? Don't put the, I'll break this. Reach around and I'll smack you.
Are they drunk? They're hitting him. Are you guys drunk?
Stay in the car!
Welcome back to the LackLuster channel. In late February, at around 11 p.m., several friends were parked, talking in their car before dropping one of the passengers off when a cruiser parked directly in front of their vehicle. The officers began looking into their car and asked the driver for their ID and registration, though it seems this was a consensual encounter. Despite the absence of a traffic infraction, the driver complied with the request, but the attention of the on-scene officers was quickly trained on a passenger in the back seat. In my communications with the family, I was told that the officers escalated the encounter when they noticed one of the passengers in the back seat was recording them. It was added that Officer Kafel, a new member with only 2.5 years of experience with the agency, started screaming, "Stop reaching around," only to justify his use of force against the occupants. But as the video pans to the side, the only action seen is one of the occupants filming Officer Kafel spurting out, seemingly over nothing whatsoever, before breaking the window and forcefully removing the man.
You talk a lot of shit, bro. You want to reach around?
Shizzy, be quiet.
You want to reach around? You want to bro, record all you want.
What's your badge number, please?
Badge number 89, Officer Kafel, Shrewsbury Police Department. You understand? Don't put the, I'll break this. Don't put the.
What is wrong with this? Oh my god! What the f? Oh hell no!
Put my life in danger? Get out of the car right now. Reach around and I'll fucking smack you.
Are they drunk?
Get out. Get out. Don't reach around. You understand me? Yo! Don't reach around.
What are they doing?
Reach around.
They're hitting him. Record this. Are you guys drunk?
Stay in the car. Stay in the car.
I'm a girl. Y'all stay the f away from me.
Stay in the car.
I am.
Don't listen. Don't be.
Why are you grabbing your gun for?
Don't be acting up. You guys are already acting up, reaching around. You're making people.
You're making me feel unsafe.
Get in the car.
The hell? Don't touch me. You're a whole male. The f is wrong with him?
One thing at a time.
I've never seen cops do this.
During the unnecessary escalation and apparent excessive force, Officer Kafel threatened to slap him,
Reach around and I'll fucking smack you.
Are they drunk?
yanked him out of the car, slammed him to the ground as officers pushed his face into the snow, and then held him there by pressing their knees into his back while telling the man to, quote, "eat rocks." All three officers on scene rushed to assist in tackling and beating the man, leaving the car unattended. The idea that the three officers would abandon three other passengers makes their initial claims of somebody reaching around seem unfounded and unlikely. I'm currently attempting to obtain the body cam footage to bring more light to this situation, but it may be a while, as the passenger was charged with assault of a peace officer, resisting and disturbing the peace. There's no doubt the department will claim that the videos are not subject to be viewed by the public, as they are part of an ongoing investigation. But next, I have an update from an incident that first occurred in 2017. Many of you may recall my reports of Trooper Isaiah Lloyd, who was accused of groping a woman and eventually quit before he could be fired by the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Here's a recap of that story.
Patricia Wilson was driving to work when she was pulled over by Trooper Isaiah Lloyd with the Tennessee Highway Patrol for an alleged seatbelt violation.
Said that I looked like I was on drugs, then proceeded to ask me if I was on drugs or alcohol.
No, I swear to God, I can tell you something. No, I'm telling you now.
I told him no drugs, no alcohol, nothing.
No drugs, no nothing, no alcohol. Yes, sir.
I am.
Sorry. What? I'm thinking of my mom over here. No.
Trooper Lloyd launches into a DUI investigation, asking questions about prescription medications, alleging that Patricia's pupils were pinpoint.
No, I don't take any kind of narcotic or anything else.
Patricia elected to comply with the tests after making the mistake of offering information. During the stop, Trooper Isaiah Lloyd conducted a search of Patricia, who alleges that the trooper put his hand inside her shorts.
He had me spread my legs, put my hands on the hood of the car, told me to bend and arch my hips.
Swear to God.
I was completely humiliated, being pulled out of a car for the first time, being touched the way I was touched, in the areas that I was touched. He put his hands all the way down in the front of my pants and then all the way around.
After the incident, Patricia was sent on her way. She went to work, and when returning home just 3 hours later, Trooper Lloyd spotted her vehicle and did a U-turn to follow her, pulling her over a second time. But on this traffic stop, his microphone was never turned on. Patricia alleges that the trooper approached and said, quote, "We have to stop meeting like this." And after a few minutes, Trooper Lloyd sent her on her way, reminding her that he had let her off of 2 tickets that day. Patricia filed a complaint and went on to sue the trooper and the department, and an investigation was opened for battery and sexual harassment claims. The agency cleared him within a few weeks, and no charges were pursued against him.
We have a decorated soldier that has been with the Highway Patrol for a long period of time, that's made significant arrests for the population here, getting rid of drugs, immigrants that have been transported illegal, seizure of money, seizures of drugs, and now these allegations.
During his deposition, Trooper Lloyd was questioned about another complaint, in which a concerned father filed a complaint on behalf of his daughter for a similar incident. The trooper said that he had pulled that woman over for speeding, and that he put his fingers inside her waistband to search for contraband and weapons, though probable cause for either didn't exist. The trooper does claim that he has since learned that if he is going to search under a female or anyone else's clothing without their consent, that he has to have a reason to do so. But it later became clear that Trooper Lloyd knew nearly nothing about the Constitution or civil rights, and that he believed that he was trained that a pat-down for weapons is the same for a pat-down for contraband. Even his lieutenant, Stacy Heatherly, thought that he acted appropriately and did not violate Patricia's right to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures, and she has since been promoted to captain. The department eventually settled the lawsuit, but in April of 2018, Trooper Lloyd stopped showing up for court hearings and grand jury appearances. The very next month, without legal cause, he kicked in a homeowner's back door and secretly returned to repair it, and then lied about the incident in his statements afterward. Then in July, with no training on the subject, he took over negotiations with an armed murderer, and he, along with 2 other officers, ended up fatally shooting the man. But he was reprimanded and given a 1-day suspension. 2 months later, in August, an Anderson County prosecutor insisted that he refused to prosecute any more of this guy's cases. So of course, the department just moved him to a new county. And despite all of that happening in just a couple of months, the department kept him, only deciding to fire him when he showed up for a formal disciplinary hearing in shorts and a baseball cap while chewing tobacco. It was also noted that his record had multiple policy violations for failing to record interactions and bad handling of evidence, but the Tennessee Highway Patrol just allowed him to resign instead. Later, the lawsuit settlement included a suspension of his law enforcement certification for a 2-year period, and in 2022, post-commission members reviewed this case and asked to ensure that Lloyd would be required to go through a transitory school in the event that he was hired for another job in law enforcement, and they lifted the suspension.
Don't condemn this gentleman until you know the rest of the story. He has done nothing wrong, and I'm very honored and proud to represent him.
Only Trooper Lloyd knows the intent of his actions that day, but the circumstances leave a lot of unanswered questions, especially with more than one complainant. The only thing that is certain is that Patricia's civil rights were violated, and whether the search was indecent or not, it should have never happened in the first place. It's also clear that the Tennessee Highway Patrol failed to train their troopers adequately enough to prevent their constituents from being forced to pay for its acts of tyranny, such as this.
Swear to God.
Nevertheless, despite the ex-trooper's sordid past, the elected officials in the town of La Follette, Tennessee, voted to hire Isaiah Lloyd as a full-time officer.
The La Follette City Council voted 3-1 to promote Isaiah Lloyd as a full-time patrol officer.
Not long after the city voted to hire Lloyd in 2023, he was awarded Officer of the Year. But then, as if we couldn't learn from our mistakes.
An East Tennessee law enforcement officer is off the job for a second time. This time, he's on unpaid leave from the La Follette Police Department. Back in 2017, when he was a Tennessee state trooper, he was accused of groping a woman during a traffic stop, and he quit right before he was about to be fired.
A Kafel Police Department report states La Follette Police Sergeant Isaiah Lloyd's wife followed him to an apartment where another woman lived. Documents say his wife walked into the woman's bedroom and found Lloyd and the 23-year-old woman, who is his co-worker, in there talking. Lloyd and his wife left, and police found them nearby at Cove Lake State Park. The city administrator put Lloyd on leave without pay on January 25th. Lloyd resigned February 13th.
Now, for a second time before being terminated, let me know what you think. Did Officer Kafel's actions look reasonable to you? What about Lloyd? Where do you think he'll pop up next? Leave your guesses below, and if you have a story you'd like to submit, you can do so, even anonymously, using the link in the pinned comment.